Hello, friends, and welcome back to our homestead. I received a very interesting question recently from someone local to me, and they asked, you're a homesteader, it's winter months, there's nothing growing in the garden right now, so you must be resting up. And it was a very interesting question because there's so much in that question that I wanted to talk to you about today. Yes, the garden is sleeping. We have at least a foot and a half of snow everywhere, covering everything. The greenhouse is sleeping, is dormant. The garden is sleeping. My fruit trees are sleeping, and my berry bushes are also sleeping. Everything is dormant right now. There's really not much going on as far as the gardening. But since we still have our homesteading animals, things are not sleeping there. If anything, it's a quite busy time because two of my goats are expecting to have kids pretty soon. So I have to do a really close eye on them. Also, we're not resting as much as some people think. It's because the animals need extra care in the winter during the cold months because there's, yes, extra care we have to do to keep them safe, alive, and healthy. So, on the other hand, just like there is work week and there is day of rest, same thing with winter. Yes, by design, we have time to rest and we're given this time to kind of slow down. So the days are short, the nights are long. So there's nothing to do except for staying indoors, trying to stay warm, kind of doing that nurturing, self-nurturing time, drink lots of tea by the wood stove and rest. But there's also a whole lot more going on behind the scenes. Well, first of all, many homesteaders, including us, have jobs outside their homes. Yes, we need to pay mortgage and pay our bills. So yes, we do have jobs. What do we do in the winter months? Already mentioned the animals, but what do we do about the garden? We plan what we're going to be growing again. Yes, we sit by the wood stove, we go through the catalogs of seeds and plants and flowers, and we plan what we're going to be growing. I just went through my box of seeds, and I had recently attended a wonderful little event where a few gardeners, few homesteaders got together for seed exchange party. And that's a really great way to just say, hey, what are you growing? What do you plan on growing? What seeds do you have in abundance? I would like to try a couple of your seeds. And we're doing a seed exchange. That's a great way to bring variety to your garden and kind of like diversify what you're growing. It's really, really fun little event that we do in the winter months. So yes, I opened my my seed box and I said, okay, I have some very old expired seeds because seeds don't last forever, despite what you might have heard. And I had to throw them away and I had to replenish. So I went on a couple of my favorite websites where I usually get my seeds and I ordered some seeds. I also got seeds from Azure Standard. It's a wonderful place for homesteaders to do bulk shopping for different things, but also they have seeds, and I got some seeds from them as well. If you're interested, I will leave a link for Azure Standard in my description box, so you can click on it and you can see for yourself. And I'm going to leave my code in case you would like to open a free account. If you're not familiar with Azure Standard, it's a wonderful food co-op that you belong to, and you can order anything from bulk supply to only a few items, anything from food to health needs, personal care, to cleaning supplies, to frozen foods, to fresh foods, including seeds. So they have many, many wonderful things. So I belong to a food co-op. I just picked up my order this morning and I stocked up, which brings me to another topic. Actually, I'll cover that later. So yes, I went through my seeds, and if the seeds are stored properly and in a very cold, dry environment like refrigerator or even freezer, they will last a little longer. But even that, certain seeds after 3 years, 5 years, they begin to lose their, uh, they're not as viable anymore. So even that. So, like I said, but I went through my seeds and I started doing some planning, and I started talking to my husband about that. We're going to be redoing some of the rows and some of the garden beds because, yes, you need to plan your garden. Things are going to be growing, where are you going to be growing them, how you're going to be growing them, and when do you start the seeds. Okay, it's very important. I use this little tool, Clyde's gardening planner tool that I got on Amazon. It was like something $8 or $9. It was a super cheap thing, but it is very helpful because it can help me to identify what seeds I need to start at which time of the year for my particular growing zone. Last October, we went to a conference, the Homesteaders of America in Virginia, and I went to one of the sessions by, I remember her name is Jill. What's her last name? Hold on a second. Reagan, Jill Reagan. She spoke about how you can grow foods in the very small spaces. Yes, you can have a homestead in suburbs. You don't need a lot of space, but you can grow a lot of food, especially how to maximize space and how to grow food for a whole year for your family. So I'm using her planning calendar and chart to help me to stay ahead and plan things. Okay, which brings me to another topic. Winter months is the best time to learn, read, and research. Yes, you can pull up a chair by your wood stove, by your fireplace, pour yourself a cup of tea, and do some reading. You know, listen, you can be the most seasoned gardener and homesteader, but there's just something new we can always learn and glean from each other. Yes, you might have grown something the same way for years, and some years is successful, some years not so successful. But sometimes listening to others' experiences, you can tweak just a little bit and make a major change and have a much significant improvement in your growing techniques. So this is why I love to connect with other homesteaders and other gardeners, not just in my particular area, but in globally, and learn from each other. So I think it's a great way not just to stay connected and make connections and friendships, but also to provide for them to learn something and for you to learn something. There's something always to learn, and it's fun thing to try. So yes, we're going to be trying a newer method of growing potatoes, and we have decided, my husband and I, that we are completely excuse me, changing things that we are growing next year. So for example, last season, how many? 105. Last season I grew 105 tomato plants, and we have produced a ton of tomatoes, and I pressure canned, I made tomato sauce and salsa and ketchup and pasta, and you name it. I've done it. I've made it. I was tired of it so much, and freeze dried it. So next year, this coming year, we're going to be having very little of tomato plants. Instead, we're going to focus more on root vegetables, because root vegetables will work very well for my growing zone, and it will provide calorie dense, nutritious foods for year round for my whole family. So we're going to be redesigning a little bit, replanning a little bit, and that's what we plan on doing. As a beekeeper, I also had to go through the inventory of everything for beekeeping. Things have broken over a season. Some of the things got damaged, so I need to replace it. So I also sit by the wood stove and I go through the beekeeping catalogs and see what I need to get myself, and what things I should be doing. Also, as you know, those of you who are in beekeeping world, you know that unfortunately we're dealing with so many new issues, health issues with bees. Unfortunately, we lose lots and lots of bees every year. So I love to read and learn about what is new in research on beekeeping, and that's something that I also do because I need to keep my bees alive somehow. Unfortunately, it has not been an easy process. So I sit and I learn and I study and look to see how I can improve my beekeeping world here. All right, so another topic. I find that many people stock up in the fall, but by Christmas or by New Year, they run out. That includes me as well. So, for example, I went through my onion and garlic storage and I realized that I am completely out of garlic that I have grown, and I'm down to just a few small bulbs of onion. So that means I need to stock up till the next season, and the next season is going to be several months away from now. So this is why I love to go on bulk shopping. This is one of them. Azure Standard also provides good vegetables, good items that can be stored for a while. Also, that means that I have to be very cautious and calculate ahead of time what onion and what garlic varieties I need to grow. Because let's face it, not all of them last a long time. Some onion will produce this big, huge, walla walla, amazing looking onion bulbs. However, they don't last as far as long term storage. So, as much as I love them and as much as I think they're delicious, I need to plan that those need to be used up right away, either for eating, for canning, for food preservation, or they need to be preserved in some other way, but they will not last on my long term storage, cool storage. So, those particular onions and onions similar to Walla Walla that have short shelf life, I know that I have to either freeze them, but that takes freezer space. I can chop them up and dehydrate them, but that loses some of the nutritional value. Or I can chop them up and freeze dry them. And that's what I plan on doing this coming season. I'm going to be chopping them up and freeze drying them. Then I can use them as a shelf stable food straight from my pantry. All right. And then others that do last a long, long time, I will grow more of because they do last a long time, 9 months. So those I'm going to be growing even more this coming year. All right. Getting the seeds that we need for the season, going through them is very important, making sure that they're not expired, they're still viable, and they're going to produce well. I like this company. I've ordered from them for a couple of years now. I really like the product, the survival garden seeds. And sometimes they sell them in packs, like for homesteaders, for farmers, for gardeners, for herbalists. They already have a pack put together, or you can order individually. Also, like I've said, I've ordered from Azure Standard, but let me tell you, there's so many other wonderful small business owned seed companies. So I'm just telling you what I like. But which seeds do you like? Please write in the description box so other viewers can learn as well. Please let this be a learning kind of channel. So anyway, so I like to keep them all in this box like this. And then mine stays in the fridge, away from the sunlight, away from moisture, nicely sealed, clean, dry, and everything else. Now, I do have a small pack that I actually froze. Things that I know have a little bit longer shelf life. There's some beans, some corn. I have stored those seeds in a vacuum seal bag with oxygen absorber, and it's actually frozen for a much longer period of time just in case. All right, but this is something that I use every year round. As a homesteader, besides having seeds, it's also important that I know that I am ready to prepare the foods that I'm going to be harvesting. So that means I need to make sure that my canning supplies are also on point, because the last thing you want to do is run around when it's time to preserve your foods is to look for canning supplies. This is my go-to from a couple of years now. I've been using them. Good product. Good product. I am not kidding. I am not joking. 4 jars. Really good product. They have jars, they have lids, they have can openers, they have vacuum sealers, they have so many things all about food preservation. Family owned in Florida, good company. If you're interested, I'm going to also leave a link below in the description box. So far, I'm going to have a link for Azure Standard, for survival seed, garden seeds, for 4 jars. And also, I'm going to put a link to Clyde's gardening planner as well. Click on it and just order it. Okay. So this is very important. Go through inventory and be ready. All right, what else? Also, it's time to review if you have the fertilizer for your garden. We try to use our own manure that we collect from the animals, but that means it needs to be turned. So on the warm days when it's melting, my husband is out there, will turn it with the tractor, making sure that it's doing its thing, composting. So by springtime, I have good quality fertilizer compost for my garden. Okay, what else? What else do homesteaders do in the winter? We rest. We rest. God gave us this time to actually follow the normal circadian rhythm of life. When the days are short, that means it's time to rest. Your body, our bodies needs to time to relax, do a little bit more sleeping. It's quite natural because come spring, the days are going to be much longer, the nights are going to be much shorter, and we're going to be working nonstop. So this is a perfect time to step back and say, it's okay if I go to bed at 8 p.m. It's okay. Your body needs that to rest. So it's okay. What else? What else? I don't know. That's what we do in the winter months. So just because, the life is a little slower, we still have lots to do, lots to look forward to. So I hope this answers a question. What do homesteaders do in the winter months? At least that's what we do. What do you do in the winter months? So if you're a homesteader or a gardener, please share with us what you do and how do you prepare for upcoming season, or you don't prepare. What do you do? So no judgment in the comments. We're going to be nice to each other, but that's just a question. What do you do in the winter months as a homesteader or a gardener?